Welcome to La Jefa Experience, the place where moms in any stage of motherhood come to get tools, tips, and support to thrive as the CEO of their life and family. What's up, Jefas all over the world? Welcome to La Jefa Experience. I am your host, ROCIO Cisco. I feel like I have not been recording for a while, and it hasn't been that long actually. Last week I had already recorded an advanced recording, so I was ahead of schedule, and I feel like I just haven't talked to you guys in a while. So here we are. It is Saturday and my recording day, typically my recording days, and I feel like a lot has happened since the last time that I released an episode, which was just last week, so it hasn't been that long. Just so many epiphanies and so many things going on that I'm discovering and uncovering about myself. Always sharing with you guys what I am uncovering and discovering about myself. So I'm just going to dive right in. I'm going to dive right in and talk to you guys. Since I last spoke to you guys and I released a show, I have gotten a haircut, which is a big deal because since we moved to San Clemente, I have not gotten a haircut probably since October, November of last year. And there was the main reason for that was because I had a hairdresser in Chicago. Shout out to Ami. Ami has been my hairdresser for so many years, and I am loyal and I just don't trust people with my hair. My mama was a hairstylist, and part of why I don't is because we had a lot of conflict in the earlier years when she would do my hair. So I found Ami and I trusted her fully with dyeing and cutting my hair, and I had not gone to anybody in years. So I put it off. I'd been putting it off, and I have been doing a lot of work, healing work. I never stopped doing the healing work since I started. But it was time. It was time, and I kept getting signs everywhere. I've been doing this prosperity challenge where I'm working on my money mindset and my relationship with money, and really it's your relationship with energy is what I'm realizing, right? And your relationship with the world and the universe and the ether around you that calls in abundance and calls in prosperity. And one of the challenges on this prosperity challenge, was to take yourself on a date. And one of those things, my initial instinct, because I was already thinking about getting a haircut, was going to take myself to get a haircut. But here's the kicker, right? When you're taking yourself on this date, it was encouraged to do something that you have been putting off, or to do something that you wouldn't see yourself doing. So, you put yourself into the space of being prosperous. And this haircut that I got, which I'm going to take for those of you watching, I'm going to take my headphones off so you can see my haircut. And for those of you listening, I'm going to describe it as we go. But this haircut has really been, I shaved my sides. I shaved the back of my head. And it has been a style that I have really been interested in for so many years. I posted something on Instagram at the beginning of Instagram, like 8 years ago, where I styled my hair to look like I had shaved my head like this. And that's how long ago it was and how long I've been wanting this hairstyle. But I never allowed myself I never gave myself the permission. I never allowed myself to do it because I was so scared I had fear around like judgment and, oh my God, what if I don't like it? What if I don't look good? Just fear of what people would say, right? And doing this prosperity challenge and then having that inkling of wanting to cut my hair already and needing a change, something to change, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to dive right in. Who cares? This is who I envision myself to be. this is the unapologetic version of myself where I just shave my head and I don't care what anybody's going to say. So that's prosperity to me. That's prosperity to me, is like loving myself, who I am, and for what I look like. And that makes me feel prosperous. So I'm going to put myself in that space. And I did it. And I did it, and I love it. And it it's motivating me to really continue to step into this version of myself that I really want to be. So that's one of the changes that has been going on. Another change has been exactly what I'm here to talk to you guys about today, which is something that we all, I would imagine we all struggle with in motherhood, is not feeling like we're enough. We're not doing enough. We're not giving enough. And this is where the overdoing, over nurturing, over tending to happens, because we never feel like it's enough. And this has been something that I have been struggling with as well. So first and foremost, let me just tell you, mamas, it's okay to feel this way. And there's ways of going around and dealing and coping with it, right? So it's okay to feel this way. I understand why we feel these ways. And we put so much pressure on ourselves because we understand we have such a huge role in motherhood, that we put so much pressure on ourselves to be more, to have more. And what we don't realize is that it is stopping us and hindering us from being in the present moment, right? And this is what I've been dealing with, is, with my projects and my business and even this podcast. Like, I have been putting so much unnecessary pressure on myself to have more, be more, do more. And what I didn't realize was that it has been taking me away from the subtle moments that are really big moments in my day, where I am interacting with my child, or my husband's trying to connect with me. And me and my husband had we came to a point where we had been like having a conflict, a fight. We had a fight because this is what has been happening. And actually, it was a couple of multiple fights, conflicts that we had, confrontations that we had, that was just pointing to me not being present. And, I'll be honest with you guys. I dislike social media so much because of that. And what I have been finding myself in is this dance between being a business owner that wants to get herself out there and being on social media and getting the exposure, and not wanting to be on social media. So all that to say that I am there with you. I am experiencing this again on another level, because I'd be lying to you guys if I didn't say that I had experienced this before, on a smaller scale. This is a bigger scale for me now, because I am a mother, and I am almost 2 years into being a mother. And now I have all these projects that I have signed up for. Okay. None of them, by the way, being anything that I believe is like draining me. All of them I have wanted to do. I have wanted to sign up for. And I had been doing my due diligence. I have been committed to them. And at the same time, like I said, missing the small moments during my day or during my week where I can connect more with my son, my husband, or even with my friends, right? Like, I've been just so in it. And not in the most efficient way, by the way, not in the most efficient way. So I encourage you, mamas, to look at your situation and see where you may not be being efficient, right? Because when you're so stuck in it and you want to make something work so bad that you can't even notice that it's not working and you're just spinning your wheels, that's the issue. The issue isn't that you're stuck in something that you're enjoying and that you're putting time and effort into. The issue is that, like for me, for instance, I've been so stuck in spinning my wheels and not getting results, or not not getting the end result that I want, that I haven't even realized, okay, maybe it's time to change directions. Maybe it's time to step away and let's just flow. Let's see where everything goes. That's the biggest the toughest part of this all, right? Is being like, whoop, stepping back and saying, you know what, something's not working. I'm spinning my wheels here. It's draining me more than it's giving me energy and feeding my soul now. So I must step back and just let it go for now, and like get back to really connecting with my soul. And that's been the shift that I've had in the last week and a half, 2 weeks, maybe even 3 weeks now. um it's not the first time. Earlier this year, I had the pleasure of being led through my first psychedelic experience, psychedelic ceremony with our friend Rick McCoy. Beautiful man. He came out to San Clemente and facilitated some DMT ceremonies for some of us, and I was part of that. So for those of you that know me, I believe this is the first time I may be talking about psychedelics and, you know, um, things of that nature. And I am open. I am an open person. I am open to having experiences. I am open to learning about myself, and I am open to doing those things. So I had the pleasure of being led through my first psychedelic ceremony. And for those of you that have done psychedelics in the past, you may be aware, I imagine that you're aware, that, psychedelics will allow you to get what you need out of them. So I'm not going to get the same thing that somebody else had that went through a ceremony got. And that's just healing work in general. You're going to take from it what you need, and what you need in the moment, because it could change and shift. So through my first experience, the biggest thing, and it's always beautiful. Like, you'll always end up in a beautiful place. It's the journey to getting there, and the time that you're in something like a ceremony that sometimes can be a little tough to navigate. And that's all I'll say about that, because because it's to each their own, and it is what it is for everybody separately and uniquely, and that's the beauty of it. Yeah, for me, what I got out of that experience earlier this year has been to celebrate more, to realize and acknowledge my efforts thus far into where I'm at now. I'm already where I've wanted to be. I already have what I need in front of me. I don't need more. I don't need more money. I don't need other people. I don't need more. I have what I need now, and that's beautiful. And being grateful for what I have in the moment, and being grateful for these experiences is really what the message that I got. Celebrate. You have a beautiful life. You have your health. You have a beautiful family. You live in a beautiful place. And that was the message that I got. And look who you have next to you. And it was all of the emotions. It was all of the emotions that I had gotten, but yet the biggest message was to celebrate more. So that is what I come to today's podcast and episode with, mamas, is for you to find where you can celebrate and acknowledge yourself more throughout every day. Because why not? Why not? Every single day, there is something to acknowledge that you've done, that you've accomplished. We struggle with, and what we don't do is feel the gratitude, stay in the gratitude, and then end our day on that. And for instance, like for me, I can have a to-do list written down every day. I can get my to-do list done. At the end of the day, I'm still trying to do one more thing. I'm still trying to do two more things. So, what I was personally struggling with was, okay, you're not doing enough. I'm ending my day on, I didn't do enough today. When fact of the matter is, yes, I did do enough. I got my whole to-do list done, and I wasn't being present, like in my evenings, or I wasn't being present, when my family was around. And that's what sucks, right? Because then that leads to not feeling enough, of course, but comparison, and that leads to unhappiness. And guess what happens, right? Like, going back to this whole social media thing, when you feel like you're not enough and you feel like you're not getting enough done and you're not doing enough, or you aren't enough, you go on something like social media and you see what everybody else is doing, and you're comparing now. You start comparing. And that's what's been occurring to me. If For me to be truthful with you guys, that's what's been occurring to me, where I've been comparing, and again, going on social media and being on there for the business, yet getting sucked into all these other things and comparing where I'm at compared to somebody else. And that's not what I want to be doing. And I know that's not what you want to be doing consciously, mamas. I know that's not what you want to be doing. It's not fun, because guess what's going to happen? No matter how much you have, no matter how much you do, you're never going to be happy. It's never going to be enough. And I say never intentionally. This is something that will carry on in areas of your life, in seasons of your life. And then you're just a big ball of a negative Nancy everywhere you go, because you don't have the lens of gratitude, which I've talked about before on this podcast, of seeing what is and being with what is, and being grateful for what is, and what it took you to get here, and what you did to get here, right? And I'll tell you right now, the last week and a half that I have been so intentional in doing this work, prosperity, abundance work, healing work, it has all showed up for me so beautifully. So beautifully. I it's like magic. It's magic. It's not like magic. It's magic that happens when you just let go, when you let go of shit that's not serving you, and you sit there and wait and are patient. The universe is conspiring for you, and the universe realizes that now you're not going out there to force something to happen. You're waiting for what is meant for you, and the universe will provide, because you're showing it active faith, that you have faith in it. I have faith in what you have to offer me. I don't need to go look for it. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to wait for it. Right. And there's a fine line, by the way. It's a dance with everything. I'm not saying to not take action. What I'm saying is to flow. What I'm saying is to have gratitude and flow. Be intentional, and let go of things that don't serve you the moment you realize that they aren't serving you. One of my weaknesses is forcing, really trying to force something to be a certain way. And that's caused me a lot of suffering in the past. And even at times now, I go through bouts where it still causes me suffering. And that's what I feel like I'm coming out of right now, is a part of my, a part of my season, a part of my experience where I've been suffering a little bit. And I see clearly now. And this is the practice now. This is the practice of, let's do this long term. Let's focus on some key things long term, and be grateful for what is. Be grateful for what shows up. I mean, I've had so many beautiful things happening from people reaching out to me, making new friends, to receiving checks in the mail, to just the energy is shifting around me. And that's what I want to encourage you mamas to do. If there is something that isn't serving you right now, that you feel like you're spinning your wheels, I invite you to take a step back. Take a step back and take some time away, and to really just let yourself be. Let yourself be. Learn about yourself, uncover things about yourself, just sit with things. Obviously, as mamas, it's hard to figuratively, literally, I'm sorry, literally, uh obviously as mamas, it's tough to literally sit and not do anything, because you've got kids you're tending to and caring for, right? And that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, if something's not working, step away. Step away, take a step back, look at the bigger picture. Is this really getting you to where you want to be, to where you're going to be ultimately happy? And if it is, great, you're taking steps forward. But if you just keep taking steps back, then it's not getting you to where you want to be. So take a step back and really look at what you're doing, and if it's working for you, if it's giving you the results. Okay. Find and look for ways in which you can acknowledge yourself and celebrate yourself more. See where you're already winning, where you've already won, where you've already arrived. Because when you're operating from an abundant, prosperous state, everything will conspire for you and fall into place right where it's meant to be and right where it needs to be. And when you trust that, when you trust that the universe will provide for you, it absolutely will. Yet she needs to know that you believe in her. Have active faith. Do something that will allow that will tell the universe that you know she's on your side. The universe has your back. Gabby Bernstein's got that book. The universe has your back, Jefa. Okay? You are already enough. You already have enough. So look at the picture, the bigger picture, and see what is already around you. You already have what you need. More money isn't going to bring you happiness. More tasks aren't going to bring you happiness. More doing isn't going to bring you happiness. Okay? Your kids have exactly what they need with you as their mama. And that's all that matters. The love and the safety that we provide our children is so much, mamas. And think of all of the kids in this world that don't have that, right? That don't have that. We're giving it to our kids the best way that we can. You are already enough. You are already doing enough. Celebrate that. Celebrate that. Gratitude. Okay? I love you. I see you. I see everything that you're doing, and you are amazing. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, follow, and share the podcast with another mama that would benefit from the message. I'd also love for you to leave me a 5-star review if you really enjoyed the podcast, and let me know what you'd love to hear on La Jefa Experience. As always, Jefa, you are worthy and are already enough with who you are today. Celebrate that, because you already have the power to stress less, love more, and be unstoppable. Go show the world and your family how it is done, so they know that it's possible for them to do it as well. Go get them.